I'm so
Ah,
excited. I'm so excited. We already had a little conversation, but I'm so excited to zoom in with Yasmina Rossi. Please,
yes,
did I say it correctly?
yes, it's great. Yadzimina, you did it well. It's my grandmother from Corsica who called me Yadzimina, Yadzimina,
Oh, Yasmina.
because she could not say Yasmina. Yasmina was my name. I changed legally 6 years ago for the way my grandmother called me. It's a long story,
Okay, okay.
but
And you are from Corsica.
I'm from Corsica. My father was from Corsica. My mother is from east of France, and I born east of France. But since few months, I've been brought in Corsica, and for me, it's my land. It's in my womb. You know, it's really deep to me because the energies there are really strong, very wild, very connected to nature. So this is what fed me when I was little girl, very little girl. And I been a nomad all my childhood. So
You've been a nomad, like a gypsy, you mean?
yeah, because I never been with my parents. I've been for until I was 11 years old with my grandparents, both sides, mother and father. So I'd been living between Corsica when I was very, very little girl, going back on east of France to my grandmother, mother, going back to Corsica, going back. So I traveled like that through, you know, these two different places, city
Yes,
and nature,
yes.
all my childhood. Yeah.
A little bit like me, Yasmina. My mother is Austrian and my dad is Italian. And I was traveling always between Naples and Innsbruck. Naples and
Yeah.
Innsbruck.
Yeah, it's a little bit the same geographic situation as well, because Besançon is close to Switzerland as well, east of France, you know.
Look at that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
forgot to say that I do this 15 minutes and let's see what the universe brings
Ooh!
and delivers.
Okay, so tell me what you want to speak about. I'm
Yes,
curious.
I feel like I have so many questions to ask you. Like before you came online, I felt like a little girl. I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, I was putting lip gloss and I'm like, I'm not going on a date.
Yes, it's a date. It's a date with all ourselves, you know, it's always nice.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. The first thing I wanted to ask you is that do you speak Italian? But you already told me that parli italiano, giusto?
Sì, parlo italiano, sì.
Però noi parliamo in inglese adesso, but we're gonna speak English.
Yes, don't start to speak Italian because we're gonna go without even notice it on that.
I know, you're right. Like, yeah. Well, you have been in the fashion industry for decades.
So it's not the model you see on magazines or in, you know, this kind of big commercials and things. And as much as I grew, and as much I was fed up about, in a way, what I was doing, but I was not taking pleasure anymore, things changed by cycles. And I became, when I arrived in the US when I was 45, I was working with Ford Model Agencies, who was my agent. And this change, I had some changes before. When I was in France, I started to travel because before I was not traveling. I was working in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
And for different designers and high fashion designers, but always on the fit side, modeling side, or commercial side, not on the runaway shows, only fashion runaway, but for commercial usage, not the very high top model fashion runaway shows, you know, because they said I was too short and too big. But I was a perfect 38 for pret-a-porter, ready to wear. And I worked quite with a lot of designers as ready to wear model.
For example,
And after, when I arrived in the US, I started to be in front of the camera, and it was finished. The fitting period was totally finished, and I started to travel more and more and more.
mm-hmm.
And big trips, because I had from France clients from Japan. And they were me flying a lot all around the world. And after, when I arrived here in New York, I had also Japanese clients.
Mm-hmm.
And I again traveled a lot. This was for cosmetics, skincare. So you know, it's steps.
Yeah.
And between all this, I started to do TV commercials, and I saw I like acting, and I put this somewhere that maybe one day I'm going to act. Maybe when I'm going to be really old, I'm going to act, because it's never came on my path, and I'm not running after it, but I like it. And I have the feeling that more I age, more I'm in touch with myself, and I can dig in my experiences, my emotions through my experiences, and I can really give, you know, something. But I would love to act in something really deep, not something, you know, because something that resonates with what I like, you know.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So this is my path. And now modeling is a little bit, I cannot say away because it's still there, but differently. I understood some years ago, and this is what I said to people I'm doing portrait as photographer, young people, some of them don't even think of being models. But some ask me how to be as a model. And you know, so we have this discussion, and for me, it is about if you have a physical appearance that is attractive, what do you do with that? Is it to be model just for your ego, or is it to use your physical appearance like a flower? They're going to attract the butterfly or the bees to make their own honey. So what is the message? What do you give by attracting with your image to people in a way to nourish them with something that can give good to them, where they're going to make their own way, their own honey? It's not advices. It's just the way to be can maybe inspire people to go to be like that. Not the same, because we are all different, but maybe something gonna resonate inside of them and awake something that is asleep, but they have already. And this is the beauty of the era we live, because we have this tool, you know, as the internet, to be able to communicate and to share our experiences and to awake, or to, sometimes I have the feeling people like need authorization to be, just to be themselves.
Yeah.
And when they see people who are doing things that they would love to do and they don't, they are so happy, because, oh yes, I can do it too. I'm allowed to do it. She's doing it and she's so happy. I'm going to do it too. You know, it's that.
Yeah, we give them we give people permission to be more who they are by shining our light, like you said, right?
Yeah. So it's fantastic. And for me, I have the feeling now, I'm almost 65, but finally I'm right exactly there. Because for a long time in my life, I always had the feeling I was not at the right time. I had the feeling, oh, something is not aligned. And now, since maybe 5, almost 10 years, this alignment is more and more and more. This vertical axe is here, and I can go everywhere with that, you know. And it's a very good feeling. It's really a feeling of fulfillment, and it's increasing, and it's beautiful. And even if there are adversity, as like again this morning I got a message, quite of someone upset because I post things that are like violent about the situation. But this is also part of me. How do I become like I became? It's because I've been through violent situation, very violent in my body. More than 40 years ago, the medical system did violence on me. And I decided I don't want that. I want something else. And it's because of that, and I'm thankful for this experience, because it's because of that I am as I am today. And this is a thing, when we want to just give our opinion, you always have people who say, you cannot do that. It's not right. And now I'm doubting about all that you said before, or what you expose in your video. So I wonder if it's right. can you make your mind and see that the world is made with day and light?
Mm-hmm.
And you need both of them as complementarity. It's really who we are. I love my shadow. It's when I started to be friend with my shadow that my life came for the best.
Wow.
Because I can face what I don't like about myself. I didn't want to go in these, weird places. And when I've been there, I say, oh, there is nothing extraordinary there. Just that is unlocking locks that I had that doesn't allow me to be more free in other fields. Just because I was so stuck on an idea about something that was not right, not beautiful to do or to don't do, So stop. We are humans and we have human experiences to live. We came for that.
Yes.
And we all came in this time to experiment what is going on. So we have to face it. We are not victim of the system. We are part of it. So what can we do? What can we just be? As much as, with openness, with tolerance, but also in a way with intolerance, if I can say, about what is right for us, that can be different from what is right for you. But accept that it's your difference and you have the right to be like that.
Yes, 100%. If we could all accept that, it would be beautiful. If we could all live with each other's differences,
Yeah, because your difference and my difference is our richness. If you share the way you see, it's going to make me, oh, I wonder, I never thought about that. Oh, it's open my consciousness. It extends my awareness. Why say, oh, I'm really disappointed because what you post is like against what you posted before. No, it's not against, it's part of the same thing. It's a wall. It's not something different. And this is the thing. It's not because I'm pacifist, but I'm also a warrior. I'm also someone who is against injustice. I am Sagittarius. So, and I have a March in Scorpio very strong. So when I am engaged in fight, I fight, and but I prefer to be in a peaceful zone for sure, but this is my comfort zone. And sometimes I have to go out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, and I experimented this for myself, I think at the collective level, we have to go out of what is our routine, what is comfortable, what we are used to, because things are not changing for the best. So maybe it's an opportunity to take it for a change for the best.
Yes.
And I think it's what we are living right now.
What do you think of all of the ism, racism, sexism, ageism?
Me, I see this totally, I never think about aging. I never think, some people told me when I was younger, oh, you have to find another job because you're going to age and your beauty going to fade and you could not do this job anymore. I said, I don't care about that. I never cared about that. Sure, I have wrinkles coming and more and my skin is going down, and what? Yeah. It's not, I think the phenomenon of aging in the society is what us women will make about it. We are making about it. Me, I am like I am. I feel sexy, I feel alive, I feel beautiful, and I don't fix on my wrinkles and my troubles. And I'm just thankful, very thankful to have a healthy body. I love my body as it is. I was not able to love it when I was younger the same way. But now, more I age and more I'm comfortable in it and more I see the wonder that it is, who cares about aging?
Right.
It's when I hear this thing about what do you do as anti-aging? I don't do anti-aging. I am a pro-well-being. Because for me, it's what we said before. I said before about violence. If I say anti, it's like I'm fighting something. Fighting for me is like a war, but this war, you cannot win it because you're going to age anyway.
Yes.
So it's like losing time and energy on something that you are lost in advance. You lose in advance because it's a natural cycle. So
Mm.
if you face one and for all that aging is a natural part of life, it's such a release and gain of energy to create something else. And the something else, what it is for me to create beauty in my daily life as much as I can until the end. Because for me, it's the only thing that can beauty in every kind of field. It can be relationship, it can be material things for sure, images, because I am a visual artist, and also revealing the beauty of others when I do portraits is what I love the most, because we don't see ourselves exactly like we are. And when we have the sight of others, we can see different side of ourselves that we never saw before. And I love that. When I see someone, and even people who they said, oh, I'm not photogenic. I say, oh, you're going to be surprised. Because me, I see something else.
Wow.
And I see beauty everywhere. And people who knows me knows that. I see beauty everywhere. How can we be in harmony like nature is everywhere, where you have no man-made things? It's beautiful. Even in the most desert place, in the most like very strong mineral volcano, it's beautiful. So how can we be like that? Just simply manifesting beauty. Because for me, beauty is, in fact, when we manifest beauty in our daily life, or by heart, or just by cooking, or even organizing our home or garden, it's a manifestation on earth of our divine essence. And I think what is going on right now, it's obliged people to be at home and to reconnect with simplicity. Because I have the feeling I'm out of the system in a way that I don't have TV since, I can say, 40 years. I don't watch TV. So I don't know, I'm not influenced by, I don't watch magazines, I don't buy magazines. So I'm not on this register. The inspiration I have come from my connection. It's not because I looked at a magazine that this is fashion, that I'm going to make it. You know what I mean? It's my own. And it's for that my style is almost still the same since so many, many years, that everybody say, oh, I love your style. My style is timeless. There is no fashion in that. You know what I mean? It's out of the criteria of fashion that comes twice a year and that make people think they are obliged to follow that. But, it's a big, big debate. Maybe we're going to go over the 15.
Yes. Well, watch. It's almost, this is the second 15. No, but I want to carry on. I wanted to ask you something else. This is all very interesting. And it really resonates with me as well. I really feel very content and happy, like you, about the most simplest thing. Like, I sometimes I walk in the park here because I haven't been able to do much, and some people complain, oh, there's nothing to do. And I think there's always something to do. Like, yes. There's always something to be happy about. And sometimes I just smell it at the flower and I'm like so happy. I have tears. I'm like so joyful about the most simple thing. And I'm thinking, and what you're saying, it's so true. I think going back to simplicity is the key.
Yeah, now we are really on a time that is very important, because we just passed the 2000 some years ago, and there is, this respiration of the universe that is like 2100 something years, and it corresponds to a cycle, an era, like the Pisces era is ending now, and we go towards the Aquarius era. And the Aquarius era, it's like the shadow period before the Aquarius era is installed. And this Aquarius era is ruled by Uranus. And Uranus is a planet that has been discovered at the beginning of the industrialization era. So it's recent. and Uranus before it was existing, but we could not have the consciousness of it before.
Mm-hmm.
And when we discover Uranus, like by chance, the industrial era arrived with what it is right now, maybe in an excess to be able to go back to find a balance. Because now we go to our Aquarius era, and it's about the collective, friendship, co-creating, collaboration together. And it's what we are like it's like something that is shown to us right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna start, really we are obliged. I think, sometimes I think that this virus thing, man-made or not, no matter, it's nature somewhere who made it for us to go to our next steps of evolution.
Yeah. Yes.
And it can seem abstract, to speak about these things, but for me, it makes so much sense.
Totally. Why is it that women, when we go out with a younger man, we're called cougars, and then if a man,
it's terrible.
Man goes out with young girls, it's okay, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I know. So me, I'm gonna tell you something, because I experimented that. Okay. And it has been always important steps in my life. Before my first divorce, I had an adventure, a relation with a very young man. I was 32, he was 17. And this was, in fact, the catalyst to go to the next step of divorcing, because I was not happy in my wedding. I knew it, but I needed somewhere a push of the universe to be able to do the step. After that, time passed, I married a second time, and I dedicate myself totally to this second husband. Never had a relation outside of my wedding with him. I was totally in love, and he betrayed me. So it's not because of that we divorced, because I said, okay, now I have the choice, or I repeat like my mother did, betrayed all the time by my father, and she was always full of anger and upset and, vindicative. Why I can see maybe this differently. In between that time, I did Jungian psychoanalyze. So I knew also that in a relationship, we are 50-50. I started to do more and more portraits of people, and I started to understand the phenomenon of resonance and projection better and better. Some years ago, like 10 years ago, I had a relation with a young man. 10 years ago, I was 55 and he was 32. And it was very nice, actually. I never felt guilty. This is one thing, because something that I have since I'm very young, my mother always said, oh, you are so stubborn. You do only what you want. Yes, because I do what I feel to do, because I feel it's right for me. So you know what I mean? So I always been like that. So for me, I never felt guilty to have a relation with a younger man. Also because my way to be in relationship is very playful. And at that time, when I had this relation 10 years ago, this young man was like, wow, I'm surprised. It was a surprise for him. I was older than his mother. And he said, I'm surprised because you are more alive. My ex-girlfriend was 23. I said, it's normal, because when we age, we know better and better our bodies. We know, and we have less and less inhibition. So it's normal. So it was a surprise for him. And me, I was like, okay. When I photograph these young people, men or women, and when I have seen social media, like maybe 5-6 years, when I changed my name, it's when I exploded on social media. Like if I was recognized in my identity worldwide, because before that I had not even 1,000 followers. And suddenly something happens the day I got my legal name. So it's a long story. But when I started to have all these young men telling me, I want to marry you, 18, 16 years old.
Serious?
But you have no idea. I have a list like that. I also have a list of penis in erection. I'm telling you, yeah.
Oh God!
I could make a book,
Oh God, that's funny.
I'm like, so some of them really respectful. I feel that some young people, men or women, in their 20s are very advanced in our consciousness.
Yes, yes.
And they are amazing. They amazes me. So when I felt I was in relation by message with someone like that, I explained to them, because now I know how it is. I had 2 or 3 experiences with younger men since these 10 years. But now I'm single since many years and I love it. I'm like a fish in water. I don't want a man in my life. If it's happened, I'm open to it, but I'm not needy. I don't look for it. People say, why you don't go to date? Dating? What is this thing? I don't go to date because me, I love in the magic of the universe. So
yes.
I let do.
Same.
This man, I explained to them. First, I asked them, what do you like in me? Oh, I like the way you dress. So I like the way you think. I like your freedom. I love the way you are so free spirit. So I explained to them, it's very simple. What you like in me, it's something that is asleep in you, and you have the feeling, you don't know it, but you're going to embrace me, penetrate me to get that, to make this yours. Because it's a vibration effect, it's a frequency. You have that already there. And you know what happens every time? I say, oh, I never thought about that. It makes so much sense. After, they don't want to marry me anymore because they know it's up to them.
Yeah.
Because they know that now they're going to meet someone or be attracted by someone, they're going to first feel, oh, what do I like in this person? What can I develop for myself through this relation, even if it's not a concrete relation? What do I admire in this person? And how it's resonate inside of them, you know? And when I explain that to this young man or even woman, I have a lot of women who would love to marry me too, because it's they want to marry this frequency. They want to integrate that for themselves.
Yes. Yes.
And there is nothing wrong about having a relation with someone younger, because we are multidimensional.
Yes.
And on our level, in this physical body, there is a cycle and an age, but our soul, there is no question of time.
That's right. Yeah.
And I met men. I had this relation with another one, 33, on his 33rd birthday. That is quite symbolic of the Christ, Jesus Christ path. And he looked older than me, and it's again like 11 years ago or 10, the same period. And he looked much older than me, and he was much younger than me. So it's not the appearance,
No.
and why not? Where is the problem? It's like,
right. Okay, so can I have your blessings that it's okay to
do your thing, and because the experience that's gonna come, you have to live the experience, because you're gonna relate, you're gonna realize something, you're gonna integrate in your body something. There is nothing wrong there. Some people are going to say, wow, it's scandalous. This is incestuous. No way, you know?
I think that like each relationship, it's like an awakening, we grow. Like, maybe, for me, dating somebody who's much younger means that I have to let go of this burden that I've been carrying around of guilt, of shame that has been, so if I get the courage to have a relationship with a younger man, that means I'll be able to shed all these layers of stuff, and I will feel a lot lighter afterwards.
Because these layers of stuff, like you said, that you put in one field, they also block in other fields.
Yes, right.
Because it's like, it's not only on that field, on that specific thing that is blocking. The block is also on other levels.
Yes.
And sometimes we don't even need to pass to the act to act it. No. Sometimes we have to change that in our mind to have a different, to shift in the mindset about it.
Oh my God.
And sometimes we can be ready to do it because we already shift, and finally it's not so interesting, so we don't do it. You know what I mean?
Totally. I'm feeling it right here in my heart here. I'm so
because when we do this, we change our vibration.
Yeah.
We elevate, we raise our vibration, and things become very relative. So it can really be helpful if in our relation we can take a little bit of step back from our emotions, all our guilt, you know, and things, and just observe and let this, like, you know, like flowing and you know, like more simple. Well, because this young energy also can reconnect us with our young energy of that time.
Yes,
you know?
Of course. It brings us right back to our younger energy. Absolutely. Yes, I want to stop the recording. So I just want to say thank you very much. But before we go, I want to ask you, like, in a short sentence, what is your nugget of wisdom to the world? Like in a few words, your message.
Oh, it's complicated. I don't know. Just do what you feel to do. Not you think, but what you feel. You are pushed on, I want to go to see at the next corner what is there. Do it. Don't be scared of the unknown. This, I think, is very important. To don't be scared of the unknown, because there are treasures there.
Yes, there are treasures in the unknown. Hey, do you want to do a little mantra with me? I do always this little Italian mantra. It's a fun mantra. It goes like that. It goes like that. Mozzarella, mozzarella, cheese.
What is it?
It's mozzarella, mozzarella, cheese.
Mozzarella, mozzarella, cheese.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you to you.
Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe. See you again with some more Zooming with Who's Next.